interest rates are crazy high right now. The market's crashing. The economy is going to crap. Are those all things that are going through your head right now? And you maybe want to move to North Idaho, but you're watching videos, you're researching, and you're like, this is not a good time to make a move. Well, we have some data. We're doing a roundtable looking into the stats in our current local market. We're in it every day, boots on the ground, working with buyers and sellers. So we want to give you an update about once a month on what we see going on and have you have the tools to make the right decision on whether to move to North Idaho. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Hey, what's happening, guys? I'm Conor Hammons. We got Justin Cascarina, Lexi Witherwax. We're with the Living CDA Realty Group, brokered by EXP. We do videos like this all year round about what it's like to work, live, play here in beautiful North Idaho. So if you're interested in that type of video, click that subscribe button, tap that little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video, whether it's a roundtable, a vlog. We just try and get you an insight what it's like to live here. And also, once you're interested and want to make the move up here and need someone to help you, a professional full-time agent to help guide you through that process, we would love to be that agent for you, but we can't help you unless you reach out. So call, text, email us, however you got to get a hold of us, you got to reach out because we'd love to help you find the perfect spot in North Idaho. So roundtable, we're just getting into September 2023. So the market stats for Coeur d'Alene and the North Idaho region have come out for August. It's we're winding down the end of summertime, which is always a really hot market up in North Idaho. We're a little seasonal area, a lot of vacationers. So we wanted to look back at what kind of happened this summer. Obviously, it's been an interesting 6 months when you go back to what happened with interest rates, kind of where the economy is, where the nation is as a whole. So we wanted to look through the numbers, give you an idea of what we're seeing here and how it might relate to your decision in moving here. So let's jump into it. I think first and foremost, we can all agree, and if you watch some past market update videos, from the end of last summer, 2022 through fall, winter, it was quite a pump the brakes situation in our market. And probably, I'm guessing, probably the same from where you may be watching or coming from as well. It was a bit of a shock to the system for buyers, especially those that were loan heavy. And so going through the winter, we were wondering how the summer was going to progress because it's traditionally a very hot season for us, but rates haven't changed. We've had lenders in here, we've talked to many lenders, and everyone has an opinion on what the feds are going to do each month. But ultimately, rates have been high and pretty stable at being high. So a lot of people are asking, how's the market? Are people still buying? Is it crashing up there? Well, going through the stats, let's just run through the stats, and Lexi, you can jump in on what's the median home price done through the summer from June till now.
So the median home price for Kootenai County in June was $517,500, which was down 7.6% from the previous year. Yep. Now the median home price is $525, so median home price is trending back up, even though the current median home price is down 5.4% year over year. But month over month, we're starting to actually tick back up, yep, which was what we were seeing I remember we talked about this like in March and April. It was doing the same thing. So we're seeing, yep, that continue to tick back up, which is a good sign. It means that our market is not crashing. So, we do have a little bit more inventory, which is good for buyers, but prices aren't really coming down anymore. Yeah,
so I know a lot of people, I believe, in the winter were like, hey, we're going to wait this out. Mm-hmm. It's going to keep coming down. I think it bottomed out maybe January, February.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
But now it's been a slow climb back up through the summer months.
Which I think is a lot healthier, honestly. Yeah. I think those huge increases we saw a couple years ago, it was like 40% year over year. Yeah. It's just not sustainable. And it's not good, for buyers, and it really sets kind of an unrealistic expectation for sellers too, that, if I just wait another couple months or, a year, I'm gonna get another 40%. That's just not sustainable. But
cool. So median home price 517.5 in June, and then just to recap it, it's up to 525 for the month of August. So, and just so you guys know what we're talking about the Coeur d'Alene MLS, so all of Kootenai County site-built homes, single-family homes under 2 acres. So that's most of the market data. So,
Yeah.
Justin, you want to jump in on like how many homes sold year to date this year and how that number is looking?
Yeah, so going back to June, we have just over 1,000 homes sold, which is down 24% from that same month last year, June of 2022. And then over the summer, we slowly climbed from there. So 1,000 in June, just under 1,300 in July, and just under 1,500 in August, with an average of about 20% decrease from those same months in 2022.
So yeah, obviously that's telling us, there's quite a bit less actual homes being sold.
Yeah.
But the market median price is staying pretty flat and even coming up a little bit. Current active residential listings, it's been hovering around 1,000. It was 1,016 in June, 1,053 in July, and 1,104 current active residential listings right now. So that number is staying pretty level. And then the other thing I'll touch on, days on market. So it's definitely up quite a bit from last year, almost a third. So I think that's where the shock is coming in quite a bit to sellers and people listing their homes. It's average days on market now. Currently in August is 86 days is the average days on market. It was 89 in June, 87 in July, and 86. So right in that same range, but all of those are up almost about 30% from last year. So
houses are sitting about 60 days before getting an offer, which takes about 30 days to close, like as a general idea.
Yeah.
Versus maybe last year it was more like 30 days, get an offer, close, so you're out in 60 days.
Yeah. And I think the overall feeling locally is a little bit of shock for sellers because I think people in general have very short memories. I oftentimes wish I would have like a Men in Black pen that erases memories, because everyone we just came out of that crazy 2020 to 2022 2-year window of insanity post-COVID here in North Idaho, with sellers just getting multiple offers, escalating prices, days on market. If you're past a week, you're saying, what's going on? Why is my house not selling? But if you would have just erased that 2-year period and gone back and jumped into our market in 2016 or 2017, it's you very clearly would have 60 to 90 days on market kind of expectation as a seller. And I think that's where we're at right now. It's pretty balanced buyer and seller market. Varies within price ranges, of course, but it seems like it's kind of flattened out a bit.
I think 6 months of inventory is considered a balanced market, right?
Yep.
And that is actually about what we have right now, is about 6 months of inventory, meaning if no other houses got listed, it would take us 6 months to sell through everything that's currently on the market. So that means, buyers can be a little bit more picky, a little bit more patient. They have some room to negotiate, maybe get some repairs done, things that were absolutely unheard of in 21 or 22. So, you can maybe wait a little while and that house that you really like that was out of your budget maybe does get a price reduction, and they are, now it is within your reach. So that's good news for buyers for sure.
Yeah, and in the last handful of months too, I feel like we've been seeing a lot of homes being sold under asking price with seller concessions. So, given the fact that the amount of homes sold is down, the days on market is up, and we're seeing those offers and closings coming in under asking with seller concessions. I feel like buyers have a good foot in the door right now. It's just a matter of figuring out that interest rate piece for a lot of folks. And I also know that a lot of lenders are doing some really creative things right now to try to get people into some loans that they maybe wouldn't have been able to before. So it doesn't hurt to explore some lending options if you're serious but not able to, get a conventional
Yep.
Or if
Like
you
you
just
normally
need
would.
some rate buy down dollars from your
Yeah,
seller
there's
to
a
be able to
lot.
get the interest rate that you need to make everything work. I'm seeing some of those come through too, which is good for everybody because the seller gets their house sold, you know, and then the buyer is able to negotiate interest rate with their lender
Yeah.
with those dollars.
Yeah,
So-
and we have lenders who we work with all the time who are really encouraging us to reach out to them when we have buyers who are kind of finding themselves in a sticky situation with lending because, you know, it's you don't know until you talk to them, and so they have a lot of things going on. So
Yeah, it's definitely it's good to see that, you know, the price points kind of have stayed level and flat. I think a big piece of that we were talking earlier is just our overall inventory in North Idaho, and I think you know, it never exploded. It was always super low, and that was part of our issue with the price, you know, increases the way they were in the 2020 and the year 2021 is but right now I think what was great about the boom here was that our new construction, our builders, our local builders, whether it was planned or not, did not overbuild.
Right.
So when it was coming and the wave was coming, you know, they weren't able to build at the velocity that the market demanded, and they didn't have the subcontractors to even probably physically make it happen. But because of that probably saved our community from overbuilding and then having this adjustment with rates where I know for a little blip in the fall, Lexi was saying with Greenstone, was it, or other builders had some spec homes and inventory that was sitting for a few months, and you had a buyer in that situation, right? And then it changed.
Well, I was saying that I had a client buy with them back like this time last year, and they did have some other houses that were seeing price reductions. They seemed like a really good value, tons of square footage for the price, and I was shocked that they sat at all because I was, you know.
We didn't see that before.
Yeah. And then fast forward a few months to January, and I had a different client purchase a different home with them, and it, all of that inventory was gone, and they were back caught up, and it was just like business as usual. So that was good to see.
Yeah. So I think if they had the ability back in the day and they were building spec after spec after spec, when that switch happened, we may have been in a different spot where prices would have come down a lot more because the inventory would have been higher, and the buyer pool kind of diminished quite a bit when the rates went to 6, 7 and beyond. But since they didn't, it seems like, you know, back to 2016, 2017,
Right.
you can find a pre-sale lot, you can build it, but there's not a lot of inventory. When they're putting out spec homes, they are selling.
There really aren't that many.
Yeah, there's not that
Available either.
many available. And then on the higher end stuff and land, I mean, I know Justin and I have seen a couple instances where things are sitting a little longer.
the higher end stuff, yeah, it seems like things are sitting a little bit longer. There's been some price reductions in that range lately, you know, $1 million plus, $1.5 million plus. Land is moving. I would say land is moving, vacant land is moving, but homes on acreage, you know, with that home piece, in addition to the acreage piece, the price point is typically higher. And that's a tough sell right now.
Yeah, one thing I would say on land too is because I just sold a 10-acre parcel that didn't have a well, and it was contingent on getting a well drilled. And a couple of years ago, I know we've done videos before where it took like 1.5 years to get on the list.
Yeah,
2 years.
Changed, yeah.
It still took I think 4 or 5 months, but that's much quicker than it was when things were going crazy. So things have settled down a little bit in terms of like finding someone to drill a well. Contractors are still busy, very busy, but not like, you know,
You can find them though.
Yeah.
They exist.
Yeah, it's possible
coming
at
out
this
of
point.
points. Yeah.
Yeah. I just, real quick, I wanted to say, in the last 7 days, we've had 119 new listings, 86 closings, and 88 pended. So more current stats, we're actually, more have closed and sold than have been listed. So I'll be curious to see what next month shows.
What September
I'm curious
shows.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another note, some data that came through is that in the last month, and I think this is indicative of our area. 40% of the sales were all cash sales, which is higher than the national average by a bit. And I think, you know, a lot of that has to do with our demographic of people moving here is typically trends older, and they have cash to spend, and also obviously with the combination of a lot of, you know, unfortunately people got knocked off the buyer pool because, you know, they're very loan heavy, and that affordability just kind of kicked them out of the range. So
It's an amazing time to buy if you're all cash.
It is.
Yeah.
Because you're not subject to the interest rates. It doesn't matter what's happening.
doesn't matter, you have leverage.
You have leverage, and you have more houses to choose from now than you would have a couple of years ago.
And for investors, our rental vacancy rates are still
Super low.
zero,
Yeah,
you know.
virtually zero.
And there are some things popping up on our MLS that I'm like, ooh, that's looking like it's a pretty good deal now. Numbers, you know, houses downtown range, you know, that need some work, but are creeping into the 300s again, and we did not see that for a couple of years. So and at the same time, rental rates are still climbing.
Rental rates are still up there.
So I think, in summarizing the August stats and really the end of summer, you know, although the rates have gone crazy, although there's a lot of speculation of a crash, the end of the day, our current market, we always have to look at supply demand, and that's been pretty stable. Our inventory overall is not huge, so there's not, you know, and part of that is not only that builders didn't build, but a lot of people that are living here have 3% interest rates, 2.79, 2.5, and whenever you talk to them, you know, you go to a networking event or anything, they're like, well, I'm living in my house for the rest of my life. You know, and that affects our listing inventory, because a lot of times those are the mover uppers, right? Someone who has an entry level home that wants to move up to the next home, but with a 3% interest rate, it's just not happening.
Yeah,
so
or you see them trying to just convert it to a rental and hold on to that interest rate still.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But I think that also means that when rates come back down, which maybe we never see the 3s again, but we'll probably see the 4s and 5s, you know, in the future, there will be a lot more buyers in the market, because all of those people, you know, that are on the fence or decided to jump out of the market are going to flood back in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because ultimately we still don't have that much inventory, and there are a lot of people that want to buy that maybe can't at 7, but maybe they could at 5.5,
Absolutely.
and they're going to jump right back in, and then you're going to see a lot more competition. The sellers are going to have a little more, you know.
Because nothing has changed in why you want to move to North Idaho, or why people want to live in North Idaho.
Right.
That has always stayed the same. And so I think you're absolutely right. If that happens, and if it happens on a quick, who knows? If it's slow and gradual, that would probably be better.
Right.
If it's a quick drop, then we
Seems
know
like it's always
I was
quick.
gonna say, with the way things go around here.
we know we know a lot of people that are just kind of sitting on the sidelines, that if that happens, it's going to be back to chaos. So if you want to learn anything more about what we're seeing here, or just want to talk through your current situation, because everyone's situation isn't the same. Sometimes maybe it's not a good time for you to move here or buy, and we'll tell you, we'll be honest with you on that, because we're just here to serve you guys and make sure if you're moving to North Idaho, you find the right spot to live and you're happy with your decision. So reach out. We can't help you unless you call, text, or email, so remember to do that. Get a hold of us, and we'll help you in finding the perfect spot for you here in North Idaho. Until the next video, we'll see you guys later.